Hello, this is Sam Law reporting for European Movement Ireland. We're back in Belfast today and we're going to go and speak to Bairbre de Brun about her election campaign and her thoughts on the youth vote in Northern Ireland.
Can I just say that it's been a tremendous privilege for me to be elected to represent people in the north of Ireland in the European Parliament. I want to give back to the European Parliament to build on the work that I have been doing on jobs in the economy, on local communities, on delivering for public services, for rural families, for farm families, rural communities, and on the vital question of the environment and climate change.
Hello, this is Sam Law reporting for European Movement Ireland and RTE.ie. I'm here with Bairbre de Brun. We're about to ask her some questions about the youth vote in Northern Ireland. Hello, Bairbre. One of the issues that we've been raising the past few days has been the apathy towards the European elections in Northern Ireland, particularly within the youth. How do you think you particularly could affect that kind of apathy? What would you say to a first-time voter?
Well, I would say to a first-time voter that there is quite a lot that the European Union does in terms of its impact here. A lot of people don't realise the full impact that it has, but a lot of our equality legislation, for example, has come through the European Union. A lot of the legislation around the environment comes from the European Union. One of the major issues that I have worked on is shaping policy on tackling climate change in the environment, and I know that very many young people are very concerned that should happen. I also know that young people are concerned at the moment about the economic situation and about their future, particularly whether or not they will have job opportunities in the future. And I think the EU has a role to play in helping us out of the economic downturn, but also in helping us through maximising the skills base, improving the skills base, and producing opportunities for us to put the green economy at the heart of economic development here, to have us in the right place for the outset, from the outset, to be able to benefit from an upturn in the economy.
And during your press conference today, you said that you're in favour both of communities, families and farming families. Now, there's a well-documented tension in European funding to do with families and perhaps too much going to farming. How would you say you fall yourself on the apportionment of funds, European funds, towards agriculture in Northern Ireland?
Well, I have found in my time in the European Parliament that very often there is the view that agriculture and the environment are two sides of the one coin, but I don't see that. And in talking to many of the environment organisations and indeed the farming organisations, very often they overlook the fact that through the agri-environment schemes we have here, for example, that farmers can look after the land, can look after the environment. And I would certainly press very hard and encourage farmers to become involved in that. I also think that in some of the ways that farming can help play a part in overcoming and tackling questions of climate change, for example. In my constituency, there's a local leisure centre, for example, that's no longer heated by oil, it's heated with willow, and the farmers in the surrounding area grow the willow and deliver it there is that connection then between the local farmers and the local community. Biodiversity would be a big issue for me, and one that I've done a lot of work on. And in that respect, I think the ways in which people work in the farming communities can help that greatly. I would also say that people have thought in the past that there's a tension between small businesses and the environment, and yet we had here and still have what's known as the STEM project. It was Interreg funded. It's a cross-border project, and it has done excellent work. It trained graduates who then helped train local businesses, small businesses, to meet environmental standards. And they found that the small businesses were concerned that this would cost them money, but they actually found when they went through this with them that it saved them money.
And also in the news lately, there's been a lot of coverage of the Alistair problem within the unionist vote. Some people saying that this will benefit you by kind of giving you the greater proportion of votes, but others arguing that it could potentially destabilise the DUP. and thereby destabilise the peace process. How do you think that tension could affect kind of in the coming few years within European elections and perhaps local elections as well?
I think very clearly that this is an opportunity. This election is an opportunity for people to say whether they want to move forward or whether they want to return to the past, whether they want people working together or whether they want division, whether they want equality or whether they want domination and discrimination and that kind of old way of working. I think very clearly the message that I'm getting on the ground is that people want progress. They see that we've made enormous progress in recent years. They see that we have a new working relationship between unionism and nationalism, and they see a new politics across the island of Ireland, and they also see, I mean, who would have thought even 3 or 4 years ago that you could have seen Ian Paisley and Gerry Adams in a room together and an agreement based on equality and partnership, which we continue to build on every single day.
So you think that in the coming years, then perhaps for a first-time voter, that ensuring an appropriate and a well thought-out vote within the European election is integral to ensuring a positive future for first-time voters in Northern Ireland?
Yes, I think very much that for first-time voters there is the European aspect. There is the aspect of the EU helping the economy, helping us out of the economic difficulties that we're in, the EU working in terms of equality legislation and the environment. But the EU has also a history in terms of a peace-building project and in helping our peace process here. And it's entirely appropriate that in a European election, a young person, a young first-time voter, should also cast their vote to say that the enormous progress that has been made here in recent years in building peace, in transforming politics, in transforming the relationships that people have on the island, that's something they see as very positive and that they want to continue.
That's great. Thank you very much.
Right.
Good luck.
Thank you very much.
That's Sam Law reporting from the Roddy McWorley Social Club in West Belfast for RTE and Youth Media Europe.